Alright, good evening ladies. Like I've been saying continually in pretty much every one of my videos, AI is the most important niche for the next crypto bull cycle. So I'm very much on the hunt for these game-changing AI projects. So we're doing a deep dive analysis into Agoras, which we'll find out if it's vaporware or if it's one of these game-changing products. Now, like I've said, a lot of the AI projects are vaporware. Some of them have decent products. So I think any with even a decent product is going to perform very well in the next bull cycle. However, there are some that are going to absolutely outperform. And yeah, those are the ones I'm looking out for. Now, there's kind of two avenues you can go down if you want to invest in or research crypto AI projects. There's the infrastructure for crypto and AI, or the infrastructure that AI will need. So examples of that are decentralized compute and decentralized storage. So examples of those would be in decentralized compute would be Render, Akash, and Asana. All of them doing extremely well recently. All of them are actually really good projects. I can't decide between the three of them. I'm going to do a deep dive analysis video on comparing the three of them and come up with which one is the best in my opinion. But for the moment, I'm just looking at buying all of them, even though they're up a lot. And there's decentralized storage, there's Filecoin, Arweave, and Shadow. And I think you probably know which one of those is my favorite. If you don't, you can look at my previous videos. You'll probably be able to see it. Now, a lot of people say, oh, there's no use case for crypto plus AI. AI doesn't need crypto, blah, 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 blah. Well, when you put a little bit of thought into it, imagine the entire internet was controlled by a board in Silicon Valley. The entire internet, it was completely closed source. No one knew how it worked, and a company could completely censor or control every aspect of the internet. Now, thankfully, the internet is built on IP, which is Internet Protocol, and HTTP, and all these other acronyms, but it's all open source, and anyone can kind of build on the internet. It's starting to become a little bit controlled by those big five tech companies kind of control the internet now, but the very fundamental building blocks of the internet is decentralized, or it's not controlled really by anyone. They're just open protocols. But imagine AI was completely controlled by one company. And then you kind of look at ChatGPT, which is completely controlled by one company, all closed source. No one knows what they're feeding it. No one knows how they're monitoring it, how they're censoring certain outputs, etc., etc. That's kind of how AI is obviously controlled a lot by those five big tech companies as well. Like obviously trying to decentralize the power of ChatGPT, like obviously OpenAI has way too much power over that. Trying to decentralize the power of AI so it's controlled by the entire world is a good mission. And as well, decentralized compute and decentralized storage is going to open up a lot more computing power and storage requirements that are needed for AI in the future. So as well as that, AGI, artificial general intelligence, and AI agents will be using crypto rails more likely than using like traditional banks like Charles Schwab or something like that. It's much more seamless for an AI agent to use crypto rails. So from those perspectives, decentralization is both very useful and important for AI. Here's a massive laundry list of all the AI coins that probably we could try and research over the next few months. But in today's video, we're going to be focusing on Agoras. So what products does Agoras offer? So the first main product that it offers is software as sentences. So this essentially allows you to tell the Agoras AI what software you want to build. So you want to make an app, you want to make a game, whatever. You just tell it exactly what you want in simple English or advanced English. It's going to interpret what you want and create perfect code for you, perfect software with no bugs, etc. Like ChatGPT can't do this, and I'll explain how Agoras can do that in a minute. But the other products it offers, it allows you to buy and sell knowledge. So that's what the Agoras token is for. So you can give the AI knowledge and you can buy knowledge from the AI as well, from the Agoras network. So you can say, oh, I will pay this much to receive this knowledge about X, Y, and Z. And anyone who has given it that knowledge is going to be paid out in Agoras tokens for doing that. And the final product it offers is actually somewhat similar to Render and Shadow and all of these decentralized infrastructure plays. you can buy and sell compute power and decentralized storage from the Agoras network. So a lot of products coming out of Agoras. So it's kind of a mixture between Tau, like the leading AI coin, as well as these infrastructure plays as well. So somewhat interesting in the fact that, it's going after a lot of different things at the same time. So Agoras has actually been around for a long time. I think it launched in 2015, and here's the chart over time. You can see in 2017 it had a pump, and in 2021 it just nothing happened, and now that AI is popping off again, Agoras is going completely insane. So that's pretty crazy to have absolutely no pump in the last 2021 cycle. So that's pretty funny in my opinion. The founder here, Ohad Assor, is one of these super genius types. He went to university studying computer science at the age of 13. So very, very smart individual, and a lot of smart people on their team working on this project for the last decade on. But let's first talk about their software as sentences product. So obviously this would be extremely useful. It would save you a huge amount of money if you didn't have to hire as many developers or contractors to develop your software, if you could just use their product to create perfect software. And that's essentially what they're offering, or saying that they're offering. And if you've tried to create software using ChatGPT, sometimes it will have bugs in it. It's not going to be exactly how you want it. But the reason that Agoras works is it's not machine learning. It's basically an AI that is like incorporated with human logic and human reasoning. So it basically thinks. So when you talk to ChatGPT, how it feeds you back an answer is it's basically absorbed so much of human language, human written language, that it says, oh, when these words are written, generally someone responds with these words. So it's not thinking whatsoever. It's just saying, from probabilities and from statistics, what are the most likely sequence of words to be a response to the sequence of words that you fed into it. That's essentially how ChatGPT works, as far as my understanding goes. Now, Agoras is actually using logical thought and reason. Like an example of logical thought and reason is, if you know that all humans are mortal and Socrates is a human, then you can logically conclude that Socrates is mortal. They're essentially trying to create AGI. They're essentially trying to create a super intelligent AI that is a mixture between how a human thinks and how a traditional machine learning algorithm would think. So a very, very big vision and goal. Within this product as well, it has a semantic search engine, as opposed to Google, which is essentially just word matching what you're searching. It's actually trying to find the meaning behind your words and deliver you a better result for what you actually want from what you're actually asking. So basically the idea is, when you're using their search engine, kind of like their ChatGPT, you're going to have to pay in some Agoras tokens to be able to receive that knowledge. And whoever uploaded that knowledge is going to be paid out in the Agoras token as well. So obviously the more questions and the more answers and the more knowledge is uploaded into this AI, the more powerful that AI becomes and the more useful it becomes. Especially considering how the AI is developed to actually understand the semantics behind what you're actually asking, behind not just word matching, actually understanding your question fully and getting you the perfect answer that you want. So the supply and demand for this knowledge is basically how hard is the question, the more expensive it's going to be, and how in demand is the knowledge. So here's kind of a simplified version of how the Agoras AI will think, or does think. So Joe is looking for an answer on how to get from A to D, and he's willing to pay 30 Agoras for that information. Jane knows how to get from A to B, Alex knows how to get from B to C, and Sarah knows how to get from C to D. So combining all of those, they'll split the Agoras bounty, and that's a very simplified version of how this AI would work. Again, also the Agoras token can be used to buy and sell computer resources, which I'm very bullish on, like the projects I mentioned at the start. So Agoras is kind of going after this as well. However, the problem with Agoras, one of the main problems, in my opinion, is it's on ETH. The Agoras token is on ETH, which obviously adds a lot of friction, especially considering something like sharing computer resources not going to really work on Ethereum. But at the moment, I don't think this product is even live or anything, so it's just something that they can do, and they're going to use AI to best distribute the computer resources. Quickly looking at the tokenomics, they're pretty grand in my opinion. 18 million circulating supply, 42 million in total, in the total supply of Agoras, so not too bad. And it's been around for a long time. It's currently sitting at a market cap of $130 million, fully diluted about 300 billion. And as you can see, it's just gone completely vertical with this whole AI narrative finally popping off, like I've been saying. But am I personally interested in buying into Agoras? Do I like the project? Well, let's talk about some things I don't like. I don't like the fact that it's on Ethereum. Some of the projects I mentioned in this video, like Shadow, like Render, like Saga, they're all built on Solana. And Cash is built in the Cosmos ecosystem, so also not too bad. So there are some advantages to being on Ethereum in the fact that Ethereum is still more decentralized in certain factors than Solana or Cosmos. Thing I wasn't really sure of is their software as a sentence product doesn't really seem to be integrated with the coin whatsoever. So the knowledge product where you can buy and trade knowledge, and the computer resource product, that's quite obvious how the coin interacts there. But the software as a sentence product doesn't really seem to be, there's no connection between the coin. So I'm not sure what the investment case for the coin is when that's the most interesting product, in my opinion. The other thing I didn't really like about this project is, as you can see, the product, it's a very disparate products. It's not very cohesive. It's a bit all over the place, and it's very, very complex to understand. Whereas something like decentralized compute, decentralized storage, very simple to understand for an outside investor, for a normie coming in to buy our bags. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to work. Tau, when I researched Tau, Jesus, that's extremely complicated as well. But you've seen how well Tau has done. It's just gone up only for the last few months. So extreme complexity potentially could be a blessing or a curse, but in this case there's a lot of things going on, and it's not a very simple narrative. I suppose Tau, even though it is very complex, there is the left curve AI coin, that's enough. This also kind of has that as well, but there's so many different products going on. It's a little bit more complicated than Tau, in my opinion. So personally, am I buying into Agoras here at this valuation? Probably not straight away. I'm not going to be FOMOing in. You've seen how vertical this chart is. So personally, if the product was absolutely amazing and I was really, I suppose they are going after artificial general intelligence, which is a big narrative, which is a big goal, a big mission that can pump up the price, in the fact that there's no real cap on the valuation because it's such a big potential total addressable market. However, I'm not totally blown away by the product at this stage of my research into it. So potentially on a pullback, I do think it is interesting for sure. Potentially on a pullback, a nice big pullback, that's when I'd be looking to buy into this product a bit. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.